Hello everyone, and welcome back to Friday's lesson. And just like that, we've come to the end of this week's lesson. And I don't know about you, but for me, this week's lesson was powerful. As we close out with, some of our final thoughts for this week, something caught my eye in today's lesson that reinforced for me the theme of this week's lesson. In Patriarchs and Prophets, page 129, we read this simple but powerful sentence. Jesus watches the test. He knows what is needed to purify the precious metal, that it may reflect the radiance of His love. From Abraham to Job, to Hosea, to Paul, and to Christ Himself, we are reminded that when God's people go through trials, it is often because in those moments, God can trust His people to reveal His character of love to the world and the unseen worlds around us. I've been reminded this week that there are times when we go through trials, and those trials are used by God to refine us, to burn out some defect in our character and our personalities so that we can grow to be like Christ. And the truth is, we all understand this. But have you ever given consideration that maybe like Abraham and Job, the reason you're going through a trial is because God wants to move you to the next level of blessing or service? And Satan is trying to block the blessing? That Satan is pointing to some past failing on our part to keep God from using us. Have you considered that in those moments, God steps aside and says, you know what, Satan? Take your best shot, because I know my son, I know my daughter, and there's nothing you can do to them to shake their faith in me. Have you ever considered that in the moments of your extreme heat, God is trusting you to be the next revelation of His character of love to the world? That this is the path God has led you to because it leads to the next level of blessing or service or witness. Can God trust you with the revelation of who He is, no matter how hot the heat becomes? Well, those were some of our thoughts for this week. Now it's your turn. Please join your local church tomorrow for Sabbath school and share some of your thoughts from this week's lesson. And by the way, don't forget to join us this coming week as Seth shares with us his thoughts about struggling with all energy. Again, happy Sabbath. We'll see you next week.